Hello everyone, Fertility Journals here. If you're new, thank you so much for watching and joining the family. I hope that you will subscribe and just be notified of new videos, particularly if you find videos like this useful. I underwent 12 cycles of IVF, which led to success. We have a beautiful, bouncy baby boy. If you are interested in my journey and what we went through, I do have a playlist in the information bar of every single one of the 12 IVF cycles from start to finish, so you can be able to take a look at those. I know I gained a lot of motivation from watching other YouTubers go through that experience as well, and so the hope is that this channel can do the same for you. Be warned, I am cleaned up a little bit right now, you can tell. Those videos are raw and real and IVF rough. But that is the journey, you know, when you're vlogging. I'm not a professional vlogger, you will soon be able to tell. But thank you so much for watching. And if you are returning, I really thank you for supporting this work. I feel that after all the education and research that we did, that this would be a space that could be used for future generations of men and women who are undergoing fertility who may not have known, as was the case for us. Today, I'm going to tell you everything that you need to know about how much IVF costs, and I'm going to base it out of our experience, but I hope that if you were just curious, that this can be the beginning of your research as you start looking into saving for your IVF cycle. So if you are interested, stay tuned. The first cycle that my husband and I underwent was conventional IVF. Conventional IVF is really the IVF that everybody talks about when they say, I'm going through an IVF cycle. Obviously, at the time, I did not know that there were different types of IVFs that even cost different amounts. But obviously, that's why we share information in this space to motivate and inspire. The conventional IVF is intended to mature as many eggs as possible for those with infertility. It doesn't work for all types of infertility. In particular, mine, which was age-related due to my diminished ovarian reserve. Conventional wasn't a fit for me because I didn't have that many eggs to mature anyway. Sometimes I had 3 or 4 follicles, so it really wasn't a fit for me. But it may be for you if you have a rich ovarian reserve, meaning that you have lots of eggs that need to be matured. You can actually create your entire family from one IVF cycle. And so it is worth it to look at after talking to your doctor. For us, at the time, IVF was pretty new. The conventional IVF cycle cost roughly about $25,000 for the complete package. And the drugs were also very, very expensive during my time. And it was actually cheaper to buy the drugs out of pocket. And it cost us roughly, I would say, about $5,000 to purchase the drugs out of pocket. Our clinic that we had used for the conventional cycle had a relationship with some of the manufacturers of the medicine, and so we were able to take advantage of a few discounts. So make sure you ask about that as well. The conventional package really covers the egg retrieval process, the embryos that they will get to retrieve and that they will get to store if they are excess for you, and so it is a complete package. And the clinic that we went to, you know, they charge that amount to do one cycle. I know some clinics charge that same amount of money, but then you have an opportunity to do multiple cycles up to a certain number. So as you talk to your financial counselor, they will actually walk you through those options. Another thing I also wanted to mention is that with the package, with the conventional IVF amount that we had, there was an opportunity for us if we had wanted to take a loan. So you can actually take a loan out against that amount. They'll give you like a worksheet with some of the providers and the interest rate if you wanted to take a loan out for that particular amount. Your insurance may be able to cover it. My job actually decided to cover IVF at the time that we started doing the IVF. So I would have actually, with this particular clinic, would have had my insurance cover the cost, but it would have been just one cycle. So make sure that as you check with your clinic, which one it was. There was another clinic we went to where we attempted conventional as well, but part of the amount of money, they would use pieces of it to kind of help you go through multiple cycles up to a certain number. So hopefully that gives you a little bit of an insight of how it was and how the process works, so that you can kind of make the more informed decision. Now, the second type of IVF that we underwent is called mini IVF. The mini IVF process is for individuals with diminished ovarian reserve. So you don't have a lot of eggs. And I didn't. I sometimes would start a cycle with 3 follicles and then 1 would end up maturing. So the protocol is different, and the retrieval can actually be as little as 1 egg or 2 eggs, sometimes even 3. And so that was the one that we did 12 times. The cost at the time at my clinic, which is the Life IVF Center, they had packages for 1 IVF cycle. So at the time, the package was about $3,900, and then each additional cycle would get, you get a discount if you did cycle by cycle. But there was also packages, which we took advantage of because we knew that we needed multiple attempts. So why not save a little bit of money? So we did do the package that they had. They had like a package for about $10,000, $11,000 for 3 mini IVF attempts. And so we took advantage of that one. And then after we did our 3 cycles and they did not work, we then did it cycle by cycle. So the cost might be different at the clinics you're looking at. At the time, that was how much it cost us. And since our conventional IVF had failed and they had reverted it to an IUI, we still had that money from the insurance that we could use for reimbursement. The reimbursement process for us was beneficial, but it didn't cover much because we were using an outside provider while working with Dr. Yillian. But what we did is we would get receipts of what we had done, CPT codes for the procedures that were conducted, and then we would transmit these to insurance and get the reimbursement. And that helped with the additional costs that I'm about to talk about in a second. The other additional costs for IVF, particularly if you have to use an outside doctor because your local area probably doesn't give you the service, but there's an outside monitoring fee. If you monitor outside, it's a one-time fee that you have to pay to be able to cover the monitoring, when they check the follicles and how they're growing, and forwarding those results to your doctor in whatever clinic they are in. So if you have to do outside monitoring, that's how, there's kind of like a flat fee for that. And then there's also travel. And so we were traveling to LA, and so we had to consider the flights. And we also considered a hotel. At first we did an Airbnb, but it was difficult to get the same Airbnb every time we did it because we did 12 cycles. So we just got a hotel room because it was easier. And we got points for the hotel room. We got points also, miles for our flights because we did that for an extended period of time. And we did a hotel room for 2 nights. So I would travel the day before the retrieval, sleep, wake up in the morning, get the retrieval done, and then sleep 1 more night and wake up first thing the next morning. But other people actually just do 1 night and then wake up, get the retrieval, and then at the end of the day, they travel back. So that was a little bit about how that process worked in terms of the outside costs. The other cost I can think of is like if you do go on an organic diet, we had actually planned on that as a family to throw everything out of the refrigerator that was processed. So we had organic food, and that's what we budgeted for as well. And how we did it, folks, which might be helpful for you, is we were not afraid to look at the numbers ahead of time and plan accordingly, because our clinic, Life IVF Center, gave us data into the probability of success. So we knew ahead of time how many roughly we needed to plan for, and my husband and I sat down, we looked at the numbers, we planned for our finances, and then started IVF. I think that's kind of what maybe made the process a little bit more smoother, because you don't want to be stressed out necessarily by the finances. So planning ahead of time is perfectly fine for you to do so, and then attempting the cycles after you have the plan in place. All right, folks, so that's how much you would anticipate IVF would cost. I know I'm missing something. So if you're watching this video and you've undergone IVF, go ahead and just mention in the comments if there's something that you observed that would be helpful for folks to know who are interested in the cost of IVF. The goal is to empower and enrich everybody so that as they undergo through this process, they really understand how it's done. Thank you so much for watching. Until my next video. Bye.